So then he said, and this term itself, this tasmiyah, Nasheed, بأنها أناشيد الإسلامية, that it is given the title Nasheed Islamiyya, Islamic Nasheeds. He said this, even the usage of this term is erroneous, because Islam has not legislated for us a nasheed that you can call it a nasheed al-Islamiyya. This term is not legislated, it's not from the Sharia. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has legislated for us the dhikr of Allah, the recitation of the Quran, and to learn beneficial knowledge. As for these anasheed, then they are from the religion of the innovated Sufis, of the Sufis who are involved in their various innovations, this innovated sect. Those who take their religion as nothing but amusement and as play, and to take these anasheed and regard them to be from the religion is an imitation also of the Christians, those who have turned their religion into group chanting. You know that they sing and they gather together to sing their songs and sing hymns with melodies and female vocalists and so on. So this is from their religion, from the religion of the Christians. It is not to do with Islam. So it is wajib, it is obligatory to warn against these anasheed and to prohibit their sale and their distribution where possible. Furthermore, these anasheed that they include within them, or many of them they include with them, the stirring of fitna and incitement to rash and reckless behavior that causes agitation amongst the Muslims. So you find, what he's referring to here is that you find that these anasheed are sometimes used by the people of takfir and the revolutionaries to incite into the hearts of the shabab a desire to revolt and to become rebellious against the rulers. So they incite these flames of discord amongst the Muslim youth. Then he said that those who justify the anasheed, they say that indeed poems used to be chanted in front of the Prophet ﷺ, meaning that they were recited in front of the Prophet ﷺ. And he ﷺ would listen to those poems and he would approve of them. Then the answer to this doubt is that the poems that were recited or chanted in the presence of Allah's Messenger ﷺ were not sung in chorus in groups, just as the people they sing, like the singing of today. They were not called Islamic anasheed. They were not given that title. Rather, they were Arabic poems. And those poems, they contained wisdom and parables and descriptions of bravery and honor. Individual companions, they would recite them and chant them because they contained all of these good meanings. So they would chant some poems, for example, as they were performing some hard work, such as building, or as they would travel through the night, that they would chant them among themselves with these words of wisdom and parables and descriptions of bravery and honor and so forth. So this proves the permissibility of this type of nasheed during these specific situations. Not that the singing of a nasheed and learning how to do it is a discipline in education and da'wah. It is not used as a means of da'wah. And that is a bid'ah, of course, and you should know that the da'wah is tawqifiyya, that it is something that is built upon and based upon revelation. And you never find any of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum using anasheed as a means of da'wah. So they are not to be taken as disciplines in education or subjects in education and da'wah as is seen in these times, where pupils are taught the words of these anasheed, and they are called anasheed al-Islamiyya, or they are called anasheed diniyya. This wasn't the way of the Salaf of this ummah. Rather, this is an innovation in the religion. It is from the practices and the religion of the innovated Sufiyya. They are the ones known for taking anasheed as their religious practice, singing and chanting and so on. So it is wajib, Shaykh al-Fawzan said, to pay attention to these plots and prevent the sale of these recordings, because evil begins as something small, then it grows and it multiplies if it is not nipped in the bud when it appears in the beginning. Then Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, he mentions a statement from Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, that Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen was asked, Shaykh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen, regarding anasheed. And he was asked, is it allowed for men to chant Islamic anasheed and for them to beat a drum along with that? So he answered, Islamic anasheed are innovated chants, imitation of that which was innovated by the Sufis. For this reason, one must turn away from them towards the admonition that is present in the Quran and Sunnah, except if those anasheed are chanted at the time of battle to give courage for jihad in Allah's cause, then that is good. And if any type of anasheed is accompanied with the beating of a drum, then that is to stray even further from that which is allowed. And this is from the fatwa of Shaykh Muhammad al-Uthaymeen, rahimahullah ta'ala, volume 1, page 134 and 35. So that is the position of Ahlul Sunnah, and the underlying affair that you need to pay attention to here, my brothers and sisters, is that as for anasheed, or chanting these poems, if a person is, for example, doing some work, or he's exerting himself, such as the example that Shaykh al-Fawzan used, or he's upon a journey just to keep him awake through the night, and it is the wordings that you use are wordings that are, praiseworthy, such as bravery and wisdom and so on, then there's no harm in that. But then taking those anasheed and taking it as a discipline to be learned and studied, and then setting up concerts like those Ahlul Bidah they do, and Ahlul Ahwa. So they'll do a conference, and they'll open the conference with a group of guys and girls for that matter, on stage, and they're prancing around the stage, across the stage, singing these anasheed, either to the tone of hip hop or some other type of popular music, even though there's actually no music playing, or maybe someone's just playing the duff or the drum. And then they say, when you ask them, what are you doing? This is not what the Prophet ﷺ did. There was no staged type of concert with these anasheed that you call anasheed al-Islamiyya, because the term doesn't exist in the Islamic texts anyway, and nor does it exist in the Sharia. What are you doing? They say it is a means of da'wah. Then that is a bid'ah, because anasheed are not a means of da'wah in the Sharia. It is not from the manhaj of the Anbiya in their da'wah, in their da'wati ila Allah, in their call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not from the da'wah of the Sahaba. It is not from the da'wah of Ahlul Hadith, Ahlul Sunnah, the Salafiyun, and the early Salaf. It is not from their da'wah to use anasheed. And thereafter to sing it in chorus, like you find sometimes and quite often in their conferences of Ikhwan al-Muslimin and the Sufis and so on, that they'll sing it, in groups, in chorus, singing songs in various languages. All of that is bid'ah. All of that is a going astray. All of that is in opposition to the Sunnah. And that which the Sahaba radiallahu anhum did when they were upon a journey cannot be used as a proof for doing what they do on the stage. It is, the qiyas is not comparable at all. Because the Sahaba keeping themselves busy as they're digging, or as they're building, or as they're traveling through the night, cannot be used as an example now when we go and give da'wah to the people, that you stand up on, on stage and you start singing to the people and you say that this is Nasheed al-Islamiyya. So it is a bid'ah. It is wrong, and it is from the modern day innovations that they have borrowed from the earlier Sufis and from the Christians, and they brought it into Islam. And you find that the more deviated they become, as Shaykh Fawzan says, the bid'ah becomes, this evil starts as something small and then it grows and it multiplies. And this is what is happening with this. And now it resembles, hip-hop. It resembles the gospels of the Christians in their churches. Muslims are singing like that now. And when you say to them, what you're doing, they say, this is Nasheed al-Islamiyya. This is bid'ah. Barakallahu feekum.